Live on KDKA-TV and streaming on CBS News Pittsburgh. This is the KDKA-TV News at 4.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the KDKA-TV News at 4. I'm Christine Sorensen. We begin with breaking news. Martin Gaddy, a teacher at Laurel Highlands School District, is now facing criminal charges, including attempted institutional sexual assault. The Fayette County District Attorney's Office says these charges are in relation to offenses that were allegedly committed against a student at the high school. The DA's office says when the report was made, the district removed Gaddy from his position and put him on administrative leave. State police in Uniontown and the DA's office say they want to hear from anyone with any information on this incident or any similar conduct. A Westmoreland parent-teacher organization is under fire after police accuse one of its members of misappropriating funds. An investigation into the Fort Allen Elementary PTO began earlier this month after tens of thousands of dollars was reported missing from the group's checking account. Westmoreland County detectives say they determined the PTO treasurer, Darshana Truss, pocketed the money for her own personal gain, allegedly stealing $46,000 over the span of nearly 2 years.
This is an isolated incident. This is not reflective of our school community, our school district, or anything pertaining to our children or staff.
Now, coming up at 5, we're hearing more from the Hempfield area superintendent on how this could affect students moving forward and what the district is doing to provide assistance. All right, taking a look at the forecast and a live look outside. The sun has started shining after a mostly cloudy morning. First Alert meteorologist Trey Fulbright joining us now. Trey, definitely seems like things are improving.
That's right. We certainly are clearing up this afternoon. We had a couple isolated showers stream in from the north and west. A little weak disturbance moving through, but the trend for the remainder of this evening and overnight will be for skies to be partly cloudy. There are a couple of very light showers up north of I-80 from north of Grove City over toward Oil City and around the Jinx area. The rest of us dry right now, and temperatures has warmed up as well this afternoon, up to 56. It's the warmest we've been since Monday when we were at 60. Some lower 50s off to the north, but most spots right now in the mid to upper 50s. And again, that is around 20 to 25 degrees warmer compared to this time yesterday, thanks to a south wind in place, a southwest wind in place at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Through the remainder of this evening, temperatures will continue to slowly drop on back into the lower 40s overnight. Skies partly cloudy. Our warming trend will continue over the next couple of days. We're going to show you when we'll be back well into the 70s, plus our next chance of rain and thunderstorms coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Trey. The former manager in the Borough of Rankin appeared in court today on theft charges, and by the end of the proceeding, some of the charges were dropped. Josh Taylor joins us from the newsroom with the details. Josh.
Christine, Terry Lawson is accused of using the Rankin Borough credit card to cover almost $10,000 in personal expenses. Investigators say there were more than 130 transactions and allege the spending was not tied to borough business. Police say some of the purchases were made at restaurants, liquor stores, dozens of retailers, a marijuana dispensary, and even for a personal utility bill. Lawson was borough manager for just 4 months before concerns over her spending prompted an investigation. Today in court, some charges were withdrawn, but Lawson will stand trial on 3 other charges, including theft and forgery. Her attorney claims the balance on the borough credit card is now zero.
We're chipping away at the stone. My client is not admitting guilt whatsoever. My client was never interviewed. My client, there's amounts in there that just she didn't take. It's $0 owed on it. So it's pretty hard, I think, to prove a theft case when there's $0 owed. Now, can you say that there might have been administrative snafus? Sure, administrative snafus happen every day.
And Lawson was also president of the Woodland Hills School Board. She stepped down as president last month, but did not resign. The school board then voted to censure her and has asked for her resignation. Now, as part of the censure, she no longer has access to the district's computers, emails, or committees. And the Woodland Hills School District is currently under investigation by the state for allegations of fraud, waste, and financial mismanagement. Live in the newsroom, Josh Taylor, KDKA News.
Thank you, Josh. Officials in Ross Township have proposed new measures to further regulate vape shops. And as Ross Gadati reports, the township is now doing the same thing to check the number of massage parlors popping up.
Officials in Ross Township tell me that they are certainly not anti-business. However, they have genuine concerns about the people who work inside massage parlors in the township and their safety. A drive along Babcock Boulevard in Ross Township, and you can't miss them. Massage parlors, one after another after another.
There are a lot. And this ordinance, I think, what this ordinance does, it may potentially deter the establishment of massage therapy in Ross Township.
Ross Township's Board of Commissioners Chair Dan DeMarco says the newly proposed ordinance requires a list of new statutes aimed at a lot of things, but one thing more than anything else.
It's to proactively prevent problems. It's to proactively prevent the human trafficking, to prostitution in these establishments.
The new rules require all massage parlors to be open no earlier than 7 a.m., no later than 10 p.m. No one under 18 is allowed in. Everyone who works there must be licensed by the state and undergo FBI and state criminal background checks. The owner must be on site during hours of operation and...
I mean, it goes into detail, even, the towels they use.
The township is looking to implement new regulations for vape shops as well.
The vape shops are, number one, they're a health concern. Number two, there's too many of them.
Up next, the Ross Township Board of Commissioners will vote on the massage parlor measure April 20th at a public hearing. In Ross Township, Ross Gadati, KDKA-TV News.
We've learned the name of a man killed in a shooting in Marshall-Shadeland. The Allegheny County Medical Examiner says 25-year-old Deshaun Awkward died yesterday afternoon. Police say the shooting happened around Fenway Alley behind California Avenue. That's where they found Awkward. He'd been shot multiple times. Following the shooting, people are getting the opportunity to voice their concerns about crime in the community. There's a public meeting set for tomorrow at noon at the corner of California Avenue and Forsyth Street. An environmental group has set their intent to sue U.S. Steel if something doesn't change with the Monongahela River. They accuse a company of causing oil sheens several times on the river and not addressing the problem. But as Chris Hoffman reports, there is time for the steel giant to make changes before a case is filed.
According to the environmental group Three Rivers Waterkeeper, to have a sheen form on a body of water, there has to be a substantial amount of pollution that gets into it. That's what's causing them so much alarm. The organization filed an intent to sue because of water coming from the Irvin Works into the Monongahela River back in February. U.S. Steel has 60 days from then to address their concerns or go to court. In November, the company signed a consent order with the state's Department of Environmental Protection and agreed to pay fines and fix the cause of oil releases.
However, we believe that there's a lot more action that should be taken in the intermediate until they're able to fix the issue.
According to Three Rivers Waterkeeper, in January they found another sheen on the river. They say they worry about the frequency of these events and not enough being done.
We have clean water laws for a reason, and if we're not enforcing them, then what's the point?
In a statement, U.S. Steel says several factors impact the river. The company monitors its samples, invests in third parties who monitor the water near the plant, and maintains compliance with the consent order.
We shouldn't have to worry about whether or not our rivers and streams are safe for recreation.
Three Rivers Waterkeeper wants to see heavier fines if the problem continues. The group feels people who rely on the river for drinking water shouldn't be picking up the tab for cleaning up possible pollution.
It's a major concern for aquatic life and could potentially threaten our drinking water sources.
The DEP did not have a comment on the notice of intent. In West Mifflin, Allegheny County, Chris Hoffman, KDKA-TV News.
The Pittsburgh City paper is returning to publication. The longtime alternative weekly newspaper was owned by Block Communications and abruptly ceased operations back in January. Now, a new nonprofit called Local Matters is acquiring the City paper. They plan to bring back both online and print editions and begin a membership program for donations to help with its long-term success. City paper writers hope to return as soon as next month. This weekend, state police say they'll be increasing patrols in Indiana County for IU Patty's weekend. Police say they'll actively patrol neighborhoods and highways. They say they're out to curb criminal activity and traffic violations. You can also expect to see troopers on horseback tomorrow through Sunday. It is against the law for anyone to torment, taunt, kick, or hit the police horses. We are a little more than 30 days away from the first name being called in the 2026 NFL Draft here in Pittsburgh. And work crews are busy all over town getting the city ready. Tree removal crews were working on the North Shore along Art Rooney Boulevard. The Draft Theater and main stage will be located outside Acrisure Stadium. And our crews caught a cell phone tower being installed in Point State Park, which will help boost signals once they are flooded during the draft. Coming up, a new mom's message after she feared endometriosis would stop her from having children. Plus, real or fake? As AI technology rapidly advances, it's getting more difficult to know whether the content we see on social media is real or not. This issue is even a war factor in the war with Iran. We take a look at how you can be a smart media consumer in this AI era. And it won't be long till we're back on the Steel Phantom and eating potato patch fries. But as we wait for opening day, we're learning what's new at Kennywood.
We have been all over the board in terms of temperatures over the last week. Take a look at the last 6 days for high temperatures. We were in the 50s last Friday, 71 on Sunday, didn't even make it above freezing Tuesday. We're headed back up as we head into the weekend with a warming trend, but that comes with rain and thunderstorm chances. We'll show you when those arrive coming up.
Drivers who repeatedly avoid paying their turnpike tolls could soon face criminal charges under a new bill in the state Senate. Right now, your car's registration could be suspended once unpaid tolls reach $250. This bill would create trespassing and theft charges for driving on the turnpike while under suspension for unpaid tolls and repeated violations. People with more than $10,000 in unpaid tolls could face up to a third-degree felony charge. Adams Township and Mars Borough are hosting a second public meeting for their possible merger. That's happening Tuesday night at 6 at 12 Oaks Mansion. You're asked to RSVP on Adams Township's website. The talk started in January with the communities already sharing fire and ambulance service as well as sewer operations. The East Allegheny School District is getting a major upgrade for its athletics. Starting June 1st, crews will replace the stadium field with brand new turf and track. District leaders say $250,000 donation helped make this possible. The project's expected to improve safety for athletes and provide a more modern experience for fans. Now, the Mars Area Public Library reopened its doors to the public with a special celebration following months of emergency repairs. The winter storm earlier this season created ice dams in the library, causing flooding that forced the library to close down. It'll officially reopen on Monday. March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. It's a disease that happens when tissue, similar to the uterine lining, grows outside the uterus. It affects millions of women in the U.S. and not only causes severe pelvic pain and fatigue, but it's also linked to infertility. Mandy Gaither reports there are ways to improve chances of pregnancy.
Less than 3 weeks ago, Samantha Gross and her husband welcomed their son Cooper Jean into the world, but there was a time when they feared this would never happen.
I was absolutely heartbroken and really honestly just stressed about it every single day.
At the age of 28, after years of enduring pain and symptoms being dismissed, Gross was diagnosed with endometriosis. Surgery confirmed it was stage 2 of the disease and gave her relief. But then her focus turned to fertility. She found out endometriosis often makes it harder to get pregnant.
This is all we wanted.
Gross traveled to New York Gynecology Surgery and Endometriosis. The same doctors who did her surgery also guided her through fertility fears.
We have many patients who have undergone surgeries and have successful IVF after surgery, versus before surgery they have multiple failures.
Gross's doctors say chronic inflammation, scar tissue, and impaired egg quality in patients with endometriosis can all make it harder to conceive.
The problem too also is these patients, it takes 7 to 10 years to be diagnosed. Most people really get pregnant between the ages of 25 to 35 or 40. After the age of 35, your fertility starts going down.
But Gross will tell you pregnancy is possible. Fertility treatments help make her dreams of a family a reality.
It's like a love that I've never experienced before.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And she also says to advocate for yourself, and if one doctor isn't listening, find one who will. A record-breaking heat wave continues to scorch parts of the West Coast today, the last day of winter. The extreme heat has shattered temperature records in dozens of cities, including Palm Springs, California, which hit 108 degrees yesterday. In Phoenix, Arizona, they're under their earliest extreme heat warning on record, with temperatures still in the triple digits. Even a normally mild Redwood City, California, has had back-to-back days of history-making temps.
It's really been hell, and the only reason why it's been hell because we didn't have time to prepare for this hot weather.
As long as you're in the shade, you're inside your home, you're fine.
Well, it's not over yet. Forecasters say conditions in the Southwest will only intensify in some locations into the weekend. All right, here in our area, it's relatively mild. We're not getting a lot of heat or extreme cold either.
Right. You know, we started the week with well below normal temperatures. We are going to get a little bit of that warmth that they've been experiencing out west in the next couple of days. We'll show you that here in just a little bit. But as we head into the late evening and overnight hours, definitely not as cold as it has been the last couple of nights across our area. We had a low, I believe, of 15 yesterday morning. So tonight, way warmer than that. We're going to be dropping down into the upper upper 30s with skies that'll be partly cloudy, a light wind out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Southwest winds are in place this afternoon. We've been in and out of the clouds, a little weak upper level disturbance moving through, giving us those clouds and a few isolated showers. We have another one of these systems that will be moving in during the day tomorrow. And again, that is rotating around that heat dome, that very anomalously strong area of high pressure in the upper levels that is baking the southwest. And so around that, we get these little disturbances, and you can see that one in southern Canada there, northern Montana. This will be headed our way tomorrow, giving us our next chance for some showers. Through the overnight hours, again, skies partly cloudy will drop to around 38 degrees early tomorrow morning. We'll start the day with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, and then we become mostly cloudy to overcast. Scattered showers start to move in during the early afternoon hours. Most of it's fairly light, and it will begin in our northern areas. And then as that disturbance moves a little bit closer, more scattered to numerous showers. And we can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm as well, as temperatures briefly work their way back up into the low 60s. Your highest coverage of rain coming in around 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And then by 9 o'clock, that activity pushes down into our southern counties as the front continues to work its way down to the south. Saturday morning, we start out in the upper 30s to near 40 with some low clouds, maybe some patchy fog, and then that will mix out through the day and will be partly cloudy during the afternoon with a high of 63 degrees. Rainfall amounts with tonight and into tomorrow's system. Again, most areas see around 1/4 of an inch, not heavy rain, nothing to induce flooding or anything like that. And then as we head into Saturday, we dry out. But then on Sunday, this is our next system coming in from the north and west, warm and windy ahead of it. And then as the front progresses to the south and east, showers and thunderstorms expected to occur with that. And then we move back into some cooler weather. There is the potential some of these storms could contain some gusty winds. Not overly concerned about severe weather right now. We could be limited on moisture, but that'll be something we watch over the next couple of days. After Sunday's high of 74, morning high of 52 Monday, we drop to near freezing by Monday evening.
Flora Vare of Philadelphia was the first woman elected to the Pennsylvania State Senate, taking office in 1925. Several female senators came after her, but it was nearly 100 years before a woman was elected to lead the state Senate. In 2023, State Senator Kim Ward of Westmoreland County became the first female president pro tempore of the Pennsylvania Senate, marking a historic shift in Harrisburg.
We are now just a month away from Kennywood's opening day, and the park says they have a lot of new stuff planned for us, including the new Celebrate Kennywood weekends. From opening day through May 10th, the park will be offering potato patch-inspired items like Irish nachos, Mexican potato nachos, and sweet potato ice cream. All right, 2 new food spots are opening at Kennywood: the Centennial Grill near the Whip in Lost Kennywood, and the Big Dipper ice cream stand near Noah's Ark. And in this year's Bites and Pints Festival, Kennywood's adding 2 new countries, France and Germany. And the park is going big for America's 250th birthday. They are promising the largest fireworks show ever from Zambelli on the 4th of July. The Children's Museum of Pittsburgh is celebrating 2 big events by offering free admission tomorrow. They're holding Mr. Rogers' birthday and being named the #1 children's museum in America by USA Today. The Mr. Rogers Neighborhood original puppets and sweater will be on display, and kids can climb and slide in the Tapescape play structure made out of packing tape. You can reserve free tickets in advance on the Children's Museum website. And we've got a link for you at kdka.com/Kidsburg and kidsburg.org. All right, not only is March Madness getting underway today, so is the Coolest Thing Made in PA contest. So this is a tournament created by the State Chamber of Business and Industry, and Western Pennsylvania is well represented. Now, last year, Sheetz MTO took home the crown, defeating Crayola. Some of the contenders in the bracket this year include Harley-Davidson, Hershey's, Sheetz, Crayola, Turner's Iced Tea, Del Grosso's Pasta Sauce, and Duolingo. Voting begins this morning at 9 and will continue weekly through April. We've got the bracket and how you can vote at KDKA.com. Coming up next, how the airport is trying to help its TSA workers as a partial government shutdown continues. Plus, what the happiest nations on Earth seem to do that others don't. The rankings of the World Happiness Report.
Now, live on KDKA-TV and streaming on CBS News Pittsburgh. This is the KDKA-TV News at 4.
Up first here at 4:30, a check of the weather and a live look outside. Look how gorgeous that sun is now that the clouds have moved out. Thanks for being with us. I'm here in the Weather Center with First Alert meteorologist Trey Fulbright. Trey, this is definitely a nice improvement. And, you know, with all this sun, people are finally able to get outside after work, take a walk.
Right, and the lighter evenings in the evening as well. You got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's been a long winter across our area, but we are going to see those temperatures warm up over the next couple days. First day of spring, seasonal spring is tomorrow. Astronomical spring is tomorrow. Skies are partly cloudy as we head into this afternoon and this evening. We'll continue to see those skies remain partly cloudy for the next several hours. Temperatures this afternoon a little bit above normal. Our average high in the low 50s, so we are at 56 right now in Pittsburgh. Franklin at 50, 49 in Du Bois, 55 in Katanning and in Indiana. These are your overnight lows with a light south wind. It will not be as chilly through the overnight compared to where we've been the last several days. 38 for the low in Pittsburgh. And then for tomorrow, temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60, but that comes with scattered to numerous showers as the disturbance moves in across our area. The best chance of rain coming in during the afternoon and evening. You can see between 11 a.m. and lasting through the late evening hours with that chance for some showers. Look at all the unusually warm temperatures. We're talking highs 30 degrees plus above normal out in the plains. We're going to get a taste of that warm air as we head into this weekend, but it doesn't last long. We're going to talk about the temperature roller coaster we're on coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Trey. Lines are getting longer and patience is getting shorter at the nation's airports. More TSA officers who aren't getting paid are calling out sick. About a third of them at airports in Atlanta, New Orleans, and Houston didn't show up on Tuesday. And today, lines aren't much better at Houston's George Bush Airport, where some checkpoints had to be closed because of staffing shortages. Despite mounting frustration, some travelers are trying to go with the flow.
It's been kind of one of those, like, it's to be expected, so we're not going to get through any faster, so just calm heads and we'll eventually get there.
Now, screeners missed their first full paycheck last Friday because Congress has yet to reach a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security. And while TSA workers are not getting paid, the Pittsburgh International Airport is trying to help them out. KDK's Chillicothe Deli reports they're partnering with a local food bank to host a food pantry right at the airport.
Instead of others waiting for the TSA workers are the ones waiting for the partial government shutdown to end, waiting for their paychecks to come again.
We know that they're frustrated. We've been hearing that.
They've been worried about how they're going to pay their bills and feed their families.
Obviously, they're going without paychecks, and we want to do everything we can to support them.
That support includes a food pantry the airport is hosting. It's going to be in its field maintenance office.
The food arrived this morning at 7 o'clock. The workers, when they're ready to come on over and get the food, will be here for them.
More than 8,000 pounds of food will be here. That includes more than a couple hundred boxes, canned food, produce.
When pay is interrupted, food should not be interrupted.
Pittsburgh International says it has not seen the long wait times that other airports nationwide have seen. As for TSA callouts,
and it's really been varying by day.
The airport says it's also been trying to help those staffers before the pantry opened too.
That's why we've been providing free lunches for them twice a week.
Pittsburgh International is working with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank on this.
We've worked with them during the pandemic. We did food drives for the public in our parking lots.
Both the airport and the food bank say they're going to be there for these workers through this time.
We're here to partner with the airport as long as it's needed.
As long as it takes.
Dedicating support to those dedicated to keeping us safe. The pantry is going to be open today from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tomorrow the plan is to have it open from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And the plan going forward is to do this every couple weeks as long as it's necessary. From Moon Township, Allegheny County, I'm Chillicothe Deli, KDKA-TV News.
Oil prices climbed again today amid the ongoing war with Iran, where oil fields and natural gas facilities are being targeted. At the White House, President Trump told reporters that he will not be deploying troops to the region, but added that if he was, he wouldn't say. Erica Brown is on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers continue to grill the administration's intelligence team on whether Iran actually posed an imminent threat to the United States.
President Trump said Thursday that he told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to strike Iran's South Pars oil field, which sparked a retaliatory attack on the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal in Qatar.
We're independent, we get along great. It's coordinated, but on occasion he'll do something, and if I don't like it, and So we're not doing that anymore.
The attacks on oil and gas facilities around the Gulf come as Iran continues to block the Strait of Hormuz, a critical passageway for around 20% of the world's oil. But at an Oval Office meeting with Japan's Prime Minister, Trump downplayed rising energy prices.
I thought it would be worse, much worse, actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, and it's going to be over with pretty soon.
Earlier Thursday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth responded to a report that the Pentagon is seeking $200 billion in additional funds for the war in Iran.
It takes money to kill bad guys. So we're going back to Congress and our folks there to ensure that we're properly funded.
Here on Capitol Hill, House lawmakers grilled the Trump administration's top intelligence officials, including National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard, on whether Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States.
The president makes that determination based on the totality of information and intelligence.
The bottom line is there was no imminent threat, and you know that, and there's no product that shows that.
Tulsi Gabbard also told the House committee that Iran intended to rebuild its infrastructure and nuclear enrichment capability following U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites last June. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
As parents, it's not always easy to stay calm in the midst of chaos. Up next, why we experience mom rage and what we can learn from it. And later, in our Word on the Street, a surreal scene caught on camera. The very real stowaway spotted hiding in an airport gift shop. Between school, after-school activities, making dinner, helping with homework, the mental load of being a mom can be stressful. It can even push some to reach a breaking point.
Mom rage is that sudden wave of irritability or anger that seems to come out of nowhere. It's not about being a bad parent or not loving your child. Mom rage happens when there is a heavy emotional, physical, or mental overload that is so heavy that seemingly small things like spilled milk or siblings fighting tends to push you over the edge.
Dr. Susan Albers with the Cleveland Clinic says when a person is dealing with chronic stress, their brain's fight or flight response can become overly sensitive. That's why small things can trigger big reactions. She says the key to managing what's sometimes called mom rage is calming your nervous system. You can do that by practicing deep breathing, going for a walk, or doing something as simple as eating if you haven't in a while. You'd be surprised how hunger can affect your mood. Dr. Albers also reminds moms that it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to shoulder everything on your own. And finally, try to name what you're feeling, like frustration or disappointment.
On the surface, mom rage is visible and accessible. Underneath it is often a secondary emotion, such as feeling shame, guilt, overloaded pressure. Knowing what is driving the mom rage can help you to understand it and repair it.
And she says if you feel like you're constantly in a state of stress and it's impacting your relationship with others, it's important to reach out to a mental health professional. We've heard a lot about the dangers of excessive screen time when it comes to kids, but what about adults? Up next, how to avoid what some are calling brain rot. And the U.S. Postmaster General just proposed another jump to the cost of mailing a letter. How high will it go? But first, as we head into a break, a check of how stocks ended the day on Wall Street. American adults are spending more time than ever looking at screens, possibly putting their brain health at risk. A Pew Research Center survey finds more than 80% of American adults go online at least 7 times a day. More than 40% report they're online almost constantly. Psychiatrists say that's leading to so-called digital dementia, or brain rot, resulting in shortened attention spans, memory problems, fatigue, and mood changes. But there are ways to avoid some of the damage.
You have to have awareness that on some level this is impairing my connections. If it is, ask yourself, are there things that I can do on my phone? Put it on grayscale so it doesn't look as colorful and as addictive and exciting. The other thing is, if I'm checking the weather, am I checking the news? Can I use a newspaper instead?
Now, psychiatrists note there are some brain benefits to older adults using technology, with some research indicating it can help reduce dementia. Experts still recommend reducing screen time and exercising your brain by doing things like word puzzles or playing Scrabble. AI-generated content is becoming more realistic. We've seen those images and videos used in all types of content, from parody videos to political ads to even war propaganda. Experts warn we can't blindly trust what we see online. Lee Waldman is live in New York City with more on this. So, Lee, how can we verify what we're seeing online is real?
Christine, over the past several years, we've seen these AI-generated or manipulated images and videos all over the internet. And as they become more realistic, experts warn that it's becoming nearly impossible to discern what's real from what's fake on our own.
We can't really trust our eyes anymore to authenticate media.
AI technology has been rapidly advancing, becoming more sophisticated and harder to spot.
We're seeing them used for anything from disinformation, influence campaigns, to perpetuating fraud and economic crimes.
In these early weeks of the war with Iran, video has popped up showing a barrage of Iranian missiles striking Tel Aviv, Israel. Another shows people fleeing an Iranian attack at an airport. And a third appears to show captured U.S. special.
All right, we're sorry about that. We're having some technological challenges, so we're going to move on to our next story. The U.S. Postal Service wants to raise first-class stamp prices as high as 90 to 95 cents, up from the current 78 cents. That's what Postmaster General David Steiner told Congress this week, as he warned that the Postal Service could run out of cash in a year following billions of dollars in losses last year. The Postmaster General says the Postal Service does have a 10-year plan to reduce expenses. All right, time now to get the word on the street. Josh Taylor joining me.
And we're going to start with a smile. Christine, the World Happiness Report is out, and for the 9th year in a row, Finland is the happiest country on earth. The World Happiness Report lists Iceland as the #2 spot. Denmark is behind it, which means the top 3 nations are all Nordic. That's interesting. And an American author who moved overseas to Denmark 10 years ago, she thinks she knows why.
I noticed a long time ago that there was something special with the kids and the parenting. The most important thing for a child here is to play.
Now, researchers say freedom to explore supports strong social bonds, which are linked to higher life satisfaction. So if you play more, you're probably happier. And the U.S. ranks 23rd on the happiness list. Happiness data is compiled by asking people about their subjective well-being.
Yeah. All right. So message, we all need to play more, probably kids and adults.
Have more fun, you'll be happier.
All right. A dancing robot went berserk at a restaurant in California. Take a look at this video. It actually starts smashing food, flinging silverware. You see there the employees, several of them actually trying to restrain the robot and having a hard time doing that. This robot clearly had a mind of its own. It turns out someone hit the wrong button, and that's what caused the chaos.
Maybe just needed to go on break.
Yeah.
Just needed a break, that's all.
Even robots need breaks, right?
Exactly. You might just need a break. Now, remember those pictures you can look at where you maybe relax your eyes and see the hidden picture?
Yeah.
This video's a lot like that. Can you spot the imposter? That's what one airport challenged followers to do when they posted on social media video of a live possum found hiding among plush animal toys in a gift shop in the terminal. Now, the strange scene unfolded inside Hobart Airport in Australia. The airport said the possum was safely collected and relocated, and the gift shop area was sanitized.
It's so funny how it's in the middle of all the stuffed animals. If it didn't move, you would have thought it was one of the stuffed animals.
You know what they say, possums are good for pest control.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Just helping out. All right, well, here's another furry friend not in hiding, but way out in the open and brazenly defying international law. This is a cat named Louis Vuitton, and this ditch you see there, that's the border separating the U.S. from Canada in British Columbia. Well, it turns out Louis has become a local legend because he loves regularly crossing over the border, flouting international laws expressly prohibiting it. And how Canadian is it? You see the sign there. It's guarded only by the sign politely saying, please do not cross.
If we know anything, cats pretty much do what they want.
That is
we can agree
so
with
true.
that. Now let's get to a story about hot dogs. Not the kind you can eat. We're talking about the nation's most popular breeds of canines. The American Kennel Club has released the list of the nation's most popular dog breeds. For the 4th consecutive year, the French Bulldog remains ahead of the pack, followed by Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, and German Shepherds. And rounding out the top 5, Dachshunds, marking the first time wiener dogs have ranked that high in over 2 decades. So the Dachshund making a comeback.
I like that. Yeah, very nice. All right. Well, we have had, I feel like we're kind of transitioning away from winter, which is good because we officially turn into spring this weekend.
It's coming up tomorrow, right, Trey?
Yes, tomorrow's the first day of spring. Our temperatures not going to necessarily behave like that the next couple of days. We're doing a typical spring roller coaster type deal as we move into the next couple of days across our area. Look at where we have been the last week or so. Sunday, we peaked at 71, and ironically, this Sunday, we're going to be back in the 70s, but it has certainly been a wild ride this week. With Tuesday, we were at 27 degrees, and Monday's high at 60 degrees occurred also on the day where this season we had our second largest snowfall. 6.3 inches fell on Monday, March 16th. That is the second largest event. We all remember that big January winter storm, and December was also fairly active as well, with several 3 to 5 inch snows across the Pittsburgh area. Now this afternoon, our skies are partly cloudy, southwest winds warming us up, pushing that Arctic air out of the region. So that means our temperatures tonight are not going to be as cold as they've been the last few across our area. We start out in the mid-30s to near 40 degrees, partly cloudy, a little bit of sun in the morning. Then our next disturbance comes in as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. A few widely scattered showers move in shortly after the noon time frame. And then we'll have to watch as this cold front moves in during the afternoon. Scattered showers, some downpours. Can't rule out a thunderstorm developing as well as this front works its way to the south and east. And you can see by the time we get closer to roughly between 6 and 9 p.m., the bulk of that activity pushes down toward the I-70 and the I-68 corridors. Now, once that front passes through, we get a northerly wind early Saturday morning. The air behind this front's not going to necessarily be too cold, and with skies clearing up Saturday afternoon, it should be a very mild day with temperatures that briefly work their way back into the lower 60s. Rainfall amounts through the day tomorrow and into early Saturday morning. Most areas see around 1/4 of an inch, so nothing too heavy, nothing that's going to cause flooding or anything like that. And then once we get past that system, our next round of rain and thunderstorms is going to come in on Sunday. With this next area of low pressure, we start out warm and windy. Temperatures work their way well into the 70s. And then as this front pushes south, Sunday evening, shortly around sunset and thereafter, thunderstorms move in. And then we go back into a chilly air mass. On Sunday, we are watching the potential for some severe weather as well. There's not a official risk in place just yet, but the things we are keeping an eye on is how much moisture will be in place, because that will really determine the magnitude of the threat. So showers and isolated thunderstorm tomorrow with a high of 61, up to 63 on Saturday. We peak at 74 ahead of that next front with showers and storms on Sunday. A high of 52 early Monday morning, and then look at those lows early next week. Certainly feeling more like winter with temperatures in the 20s to near 30.
All right, thank you, Trey. A new controversy is brewing in Hollywood over an announcement involving the late Val Kilmer. The actor's family says before he died, he was set to star in a historical epic called As Deep as the Grave, but he never got to shoot it. Now the family has agreed to let producers fake his voice and image with generative AI. Jolene Kent reports that's raising all kinds of questions.
You see, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman.
As one of Hollywood's most bankable stars and beloved actors of the 80s and 90s, Val Kilmer is now leading the charge into what could be a new age of filmmaking. This picture is the first posthumous image of Val Kilmer, created using generative AI, artificial intelligence technology that can generate new content by analyzing what's already out there. Kilmer, who died in April of 2025, is set to star in As Deep as the Grave, a film about a pair of archaeologists in America's Southwest. It's being called the first AI performance of its kind.
The Navy needs Maverick.
In 2022's Top Gun Maverick, filmmakers used AI to enhance Kilmer's voice as the actor was battling throat cancer. Kilmer's family says the portrayal in this new movie is okay with them and that he signed on to the film years before he died. Mercedes Kilmer, his daughter, in part says he always looked at emerging technologies with optimism as a tool to expand the possibilities of storytelling. This spirit is something that we are all honoring within this specific film.
When they talk about me.
Last September, SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, discouraged the use of AI-generated actor Tilly Norwood, saying then the union is opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics. SAG-AFTRA did not respond to our request for comment, but back in December, I did ask its president and actor, Sean Astin, whether he thinks there's a role for AI in filmmaking.
I think it's okay to look for opportunities to see filmmakers and companies who are trying to push the envelope. There's a difference between pushing the envelope and tearing it up.
Jolene Kent, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's all our time here at 4. You can always get news, weather, and sports streaming around the clock on CBS News Pittsburgh. And we're always posting updates on our social media and website, KDKA.com. We hope you'll join us for more March Madness and our newscast tonight.